Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Okay, real quick, I just want to go into this quick video, quick lesson actually. This is a TV show that's supposed to be on Apple TV and Amazon Prime called Witch Please. And it says The Conjure family premieres today on Apple TV and Amazon Prime. And guess who is the main cast of the show? Eve, so-called black woman. The main cast of the show, and yes, is exactly what it says, witch. These are women who have turned to witchcraft, and they're making a reality TV show about it, you know? And they got the it's let me see. I didn't want to open it up on here, but I guess I will. I don't even have Apple TV. And I got everything in Spanish anyway. I would have to. Let me see if I can find it. No, I can't. I don't see it. I don't know if it's an up and coming show or if it's already out, but I seen trailers for it on what am I trying to say? On YouTube. That's how I found out about it in the first place. Here go one right here.
I am Lala Nutiahari, the mother of...
And fair use. I'm not using. Let me go back. It's fair use. I'm not using this content to make any money. This is strictly for educational purposes. I'm not using your video or your content to make money off of this. I didn't even know it was gonna play a video, but I'm gonna let it play and then I'm gonna go into it.
Don't need a crystal ball to see this isn't your everyday family.
I am Lala Nutiahari, the mother of 3 very powerful witches.
They've got altars, attitude, and an 8-figure brand. And now they've got a show.
You identify with a religion, or are you more so just spiritual?
Spiritual.
We're doing money work for other people, but you see the way we live in it, we do the work for ourselves too.
The only thing stronger than their magic is their mouths.
I see her and I just feel like this is my time to fuck with her.
There is not a day in hell that I'm gonna let them disrespect me.
From full moons to money moves, this family does it all with divine alignment.
Ancestors, spirit guides, and all benevolent entities to enter into this space.
This is The Conjure Family. New series premieres June 30th on Prime Video and Apple TV.
It's lit.
So as you can see, like it said, they told you everything that you needed to see. What more is there to say? You know, for the mass majority of the so-called black women, they through. And a lot of them turn to this witchcraft, or a lot of them don't see witchcraft as something evil. And they're going to be completely destroyed. The Lord going to allow a lot of these women that tap into their left-hand energy, He going to allow that left-hand energy to consume them. And they going to start to experience some things that you only see in horror movies, you know, because this is extremely wicked and they're not going to survive. As the scriptures say, suffer not a witch to live. The Lord does not play about this. This is extremely wicked. This is Exodus 22:18. It says, and I'm reading the AMP, it says, you shall not allow a woman who practices sorcery to live. This is in our law. You know, that's extremely, extremely wicked. That left-hand energy, extremely, extremely wicked. Now these women making a reality TV show about it. Extremely proud. You know, so the Lord, He's going to judge them for that. He's going to judge all the women that have that mindset too. Not just the women in the show, but that has that mindset doing that. They're going to be judged horribly, you know. And it's not just for women too. For men too. Let me see if it. Deuteronomy 18. This is Deuteronomy 18 and 10, the AMP. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or daughter pass through the fire as a sacrifice, one who uses divination and fortune telling, one who practices witchcraft, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who casts a charm or spell, or a medium, or a spiritualist, or a necromancer, one who seeks the dead. For everyone who does these things is utterly repulsive to the Lord, and because of these detestable practices, the Lord your God is driving them out before you. All right, so the Lord, he absolutely hates that, and then all this, I'm spiritual. No, like I said, a spiritualist. Let's see what that spiritualist is. I never looked that up. Or it looked like right. It says another term for spiritualism. All these people talking about I'm spiritual, but they're not saying they're spiritual in the means of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua in those terms. They're saying it on that left-hand energy. Lord is going to judge them for that, and they making the whole reality TV show about it. So-called black woman, just continually getting further and further away, and going further and further in the hole, and getting further and further away from the Lord, And today, while I was going to pick up some food, on my way, it's like a little seating area. I seen Jake sitting down with a Edomite. She was sitting, her back was turned the way that I was going, and he was sitting facing her, so I could see his face, and I couldn't see her until I came out the other way. But as I was walking past, I was smiling. I was trying to hide my smile so he wouldn't see it, but I was actually happy because I'm seeing Jake, because he seemed like he was happy. He was just chilling, and the Edomite woman, she was all over him. She wasn't bad looking or nothing. She was all over him. It wasn't like she was, one of those big, fat, Edomite women that was unattractive. No, she was actually nice looking, in shape and everything. I wasn't checking her out or nothing, but just trying to, paint the picture that she wasn't one of those unattractive Edomite women. She was actually, one of those attractive Edomite women. And I was happy for her. I was walking past, I was trying to mask my smile, keep a straight face, not pay attention to nothing. But in my mind, I'm thinking, and I ain't gonna lie, I used to think, before I just truly understood how a lot of the so-called black woman was, because me being, Judah, Lord will, I think I'm of the tribe of Judah, naturally I would want to be with, at least have at least one so-called black woman, one Judite woman, or at least Southern tribe woman. But just now that I know how to, well, let me finish my point. That's what I used, would want. And I wanted to see, Jake with that too, the so-called black man with the so-called black woman. So when I used to see the so-called black man with an Edomite woman, I would, I wouldn't look down on it, but I'd be like, this what you want to do, man? That's what I used to think, before I just truly understood how these women truly are, Now, if I see a so-called Edomite with a so-called black woman, I always look down on that. But now that I understand better and more and have more experience, if I see Jake, so-called black man with an Edomite, Edomite woman, I don't frown on it no more. Like I said, when I seen that today, man, I was happy for him. I was genuinely happy for him. I went and got my food, was trying not to smile so they wouldn't see, came back out doing the same thing. I smiled when I got past him. Both times, going to get my food and coming back, I smiled. I was happy for him. Jake he seemed like he was happy. He was just chilling. And the Edomite woman, she seemed like she was happy to be with him. And he would, he was a pretty decent brother too. Like he was in shape, so on and so forth. She genuinely was happy to be with him, She was all over him. He was chilling. She was all over him. I was happy to see that. And honestly, Jake, Jake don't deserve to have that type of headache. He don't deserve to have no headache of having to deal with the woman, the so-called black woman, Eve. He don't deserve to go through that, Not saying him in general, just saying the so-called black man. And I ain't saying all of them, because some of them are wicked as hell. And like the scriptures say, a wicked woman is given to the portion of a wicked man, so they deserve each other. But for the most part, you know, we tired, we wore out having to deal with those same tendencies of the so-called black woman. So just to see that made me happy. But a lot of these women, they into that witchcraft, they into that sorcery. And I seen a post on YouTube earlier saying a lot of these women, they decided to date each other because they lonely, they bored, and because no good man want them. So they figure they just gonna try to date each other to mask their loneliness and mask the fact that they don't have a man. But this is their own fault. They just reaping the consequences of their own actions. So and good for them, you know. Only the women of the elect will be delivered. So Lord will, this is an edifying lesson, quick and short. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.